Hello, my YouTube family. This is All Things Nadine. Today we'll be talking about my experience working at Sonic. If you watched my last video, I mentioned working at Sonic and how it was a joke, right? And I mean that when I say my experience at Sonic was a joke, you know. So stay tuned. So let's talk about Sonic. That was one of my first job landing in the US, right? After looking for jobs for months. So April, I don't remember what month, but I had been home like 5 months after that. And as you all know, I mean, immigrants, right? People from Cameroon, when we get here, you have all these family expectations. People need help, right? Understandable, people need help. So, and it's hard for people to understand that you're in America or you're wherever you are, out of Cameroon or out of whichever country you're from, and you're not making money. Nobody understands that, right? Nobody understands that. But let's come back to my experience at Sonic. So I finally, through my church, right, somebody helped me find a job because, like I told you guys, the accent was thick. Thick accent. I don't know if you guys hear me now. I'm like all polished up over the years, right? But it was thick. When we get here, we don't even realize how thick our tongue is until you start working at a restaurant. So for people who are here, they will understand what I'm talking about. But for my friends who haven't been here, we have the fast food restaurant, right? And the fast food restaurants, everything is through some kind of, how do you say, phone? I don't know how to explain. The menus are on the screen. They call it drive-through. So you stay in your car. You remember when you say a moto, but then you talk about the food we want to order for screen, right? I'm mixing pidgin and English here. So I work at Sonic and I lasted for a month because I couldn't really make money for the owner of the restaurant. So it's a very small business, and the jobs that you can do are very limited. I mean, it's standing at the window, taking orders, right? In Pidgin, you say you stand up a window, you take orders. People come by for screen. They go for drive, go for screen. Look, okay, they'll tell me, okay, I want burger, I want fries, I wanted tater tots, which I don't think I'm saying it right. And when you work at Sonic, you have to repeat. When somebody gives you their order, you have to repeat it. Like say, okay, you order burger, fries, tater tots, you want slushy and whatever else, and it's like you're confirming their order, right? So, but when I did that job, and people would give their orders, first I couldn't even figure out what I'm pressing because being new to the US, I did not really know what those things were calling. What are those? Fries. I know fried potatoes. Fries now, wait to be fries. Burger. I never really, I was never familiar with burger before I got to the US. So I'm like, okay, burger. Then you get for ask, oh, you want cheese? You want mayonnaise? Mayonnaise? I know mayonnaise. I don't know mayonnaise, right? Ketchup. What to be ketchup? No clue, right? What to be mustard? I mean, so it was tough. So when people place their orders, they say what they want, and I say, okay, so you order burger, fries. I can't even imitate myself, whatever I was repeating. But every time I repeated something, they tell me I did not order any of that. Right? Every time. And here, people get mad and frustrated if they can't get their food. So that was tough. So, and I try working doing the drinks. Well, they would tell me what drinks they want, and I don't understand whatever they were saying. Slush, strawberry slushy, raspberry lemonade, or whatever they were saying. It was just I mean, I try to learn for sure. I tried to learn, but being new, no exposure, it was hard. And the owner of the business needs you to be working, making money. So yeah, because of that, I couldn't get hours. So I'll work like, what, 12 hours a week. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? I don't blame him, right? I don't blame him. He has to make money. He needs people who can work and make him money, and I couldn't. So I was the first one that was sent home if business was slow home. Never called for extra, because I mean, first month, first week, I'm still trying to know what turtle tots, French fries, all that weird names that we have here. I was still trying to know those, but they needed me to be able to know them and be able to work at the window, make the drinks, and all that. So that did not work out. And my next job that I had a couple months later through another friend, because you're here clueless, you need connections with other people to be able to get at least those first jobs, right? And the next job was caregiver. And for my people back home, caregiver is just a fancy word for sheet cleaner. I don't know if there's a better word for that. You take care. So back home for us, when we back home, we don't take care of. I mean, personally, let me not say we. Personally, I know we don't ever experience or clean any adults, like for wash them, clean them. My parents were the one who did that. Our mommy, papa, them not then they clean sheet for our papa or mommy, then when they sick, no, we picking them. So yeah, just so you guys know, most of us, or me, let me not generalize, me, I started doing that. Clean people for money. The older, elderly who cannot take care of themselves, that's what you do. You clean them up. You clean them, wash them, feed them. They need those help. So that's what some of us immigrants, when we come here, that's our first job. Like it or not. I mean, some of us, we get here, we're like, I don't want this job, I don't want that job. But before you know it, you're doing it because you're so broke. Broke to the point that you feel like you need to go back home, but you can't. So you might as well go clean some ass, right? Ass just means butt. Ass just means buttocks. So whatever you're not call them for clean, right? That's what we do. Most of the time we need tell family or tell friends what we do. We'll call some other name, but CNA, just a fancy word, certified nursing assistant or caregiver. Doesn't mean you take care of people. You clean them, you wash them, you feed them happily. You happily and gratefully cleaning sheet for a living because it pays your bill. Okay, so I am not ashamed of doing that because I'm blessed to be able to take care of someone else, right? That's how I look at it. It's a blessing that I'm healthy enough to be able to care for somebody else. But then that job did not last because of transportation, because here in where I am, the states, every state is different. You almost have to have you really have to have a car to have nice transportation. Buses are good, but it takes forever. It's like place where you go for 15 minutes, it will take you 1 hour because you want to use bus. But then, like I said, when I had to use the bus, I was grateful. I tell myself, at least I have a bus, right? But my goal was to be able to get a car, drive a car, so I can get from one place to another fast. So the caregiver job did not work because it was night shift and the buses don't work at night. So all that, obstacles, I mean, they were all tough jobs. You do what you have to do, because I tell people and I tell myself every day, I did not come from Cameroon all the way here to settle for less. But along the way, you have to do those low jobs to get to higher jobs. You have to expose yourself before you can see and cherish where you're going in your life. All right, that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter where you are today. It matters where you plan on being tomorrow. Because today you can't really do much, or yesterday you cannot do much. You can make some changes today, the hours that you have ahead of you, but you can make a lot more changes the days and the years in front of you. God willing, right? So plan. Don't some I remember when I came here, people, oh, I cannot go to school for this because it's so many years. It's 4 years, it's 5 years, it's 6 years. Remember, time is still moving. Whether you decide to go to school or not, whether you decide to grow yourself or not, whether you decide to take risk or not, time still goes by, and all we have to do is look back and wish we did this and that. So that's why I tell you guys, military, my move from Sonic, the fast food, caregiver, to military was the best bet. Because through the military, I was able to get a base, a more stable base, where I know the only, I was able to move out on my own, right? Because when you reach America, you stay with people. You stay with people so you can get on your feet. And then when you finally get something stable, you move on with your life. You cannot stay with people forever. You have to move. Because another thing, moving on your own helps you work even harder. Some people look at moving out of family as a bad thing. But I tell people every day, if you really want to grow a lot more, you need to move out. Because it gives you a mindset of growth. You have more bills to pay. That just helps you work harder. And again, contentment helps you get to where you're going. Because another thing, we work so many hours and we don't grow as self. Because we're trying to work so many hours to pay bills instead of working less, leave a low profile, less than your income, leave that low profile life and go to school and grow yourself. Personally, school is my thing. I know people say you don't only have to go to school to be something. I believe in education. I believe in education because it's one thing nobody can take away from you, right? You can take your education and move into different places, and even if you want to start a business, you still can be business and also doing some other job somewhere, depending on what your desires are. So those are my experience. Hard time at Sonic because of the accent. Couldn't do it. Caregiver, driving, no car. Couldn't do that. Military, the blessing. I cannot thank God for that opportunity, So there are opportunities. People have gone from Sonic to billionaires. It just didn't work for me. People have gone from caregivers to higher position in whatever companies they started with. That moment that I started was not for me. And I believe God has plans for each and every one of us. We just have to listen to that voice. We just have to take those inconveniences and use them to grow in other aspects. If you watch my last video, don't let your fear stop you from growing, but let your fear enable you to try other things to better yourself and the people around you, right? So that's it for today. I hope I'm not all over the place, but I really love to talk and encourage someone who is thinking of whatever direction they're trying to go in their life. Start humble and let your humble beginning guide your future, right? That's me. All things Nadine. And like always, stay blessed. Remember to be kind.